As previously noted, the @BeltFanDan Twitter account reported that Triple H was making changes to several belts. Dan recently tweeted that new designs for the men's and women's doubles titles are in the works. In this video, we'll look at the event that led to the making of changes to the WWE title belts, so make sure you stick with me to the end. Now, without any further delay, let's get into the video. First up, giving new look to the WWE titles belts. In his recent tweet, Dan wrote, "New WWE tag belts are described to me as being the existing design, with two black straps and a large WWE logo stacked in the center. They also have the old never-used tags, which are the women's tag style in colored strips. Women's belts getting colored soon." Last week on Monday Night Raw, Dakota Kai and Io Sky defeated Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah to win the women's tag team titles. Since taking over the creation of Vince McMahon, Triple H has made several changes to the product, bringing back former stars, and will now make changes to the belts. So what do we have next? Let's talk about how the WWE Championship belts evolved. Over the years, the WWE Champion's belt has been changing, and here and now, we'll talk about how it's gone on different occasions. Shall we? The WWE has three titles that carried the prestige of being categorized as world championships, these being the WWE Championship, the Universal Championship, the Complete World Championship. However, it has had a constant renewal that represents wrestling, and its characteristics have changed over the years. We'll start with Bruno Sammartino, 1963 to 1971. The first WWE Championship, then WWF, was presented in 1963. Buddy Rogers was the first bearer, but its reign was 36 days, being interrupted by the Italian Bruno Sammartino, who immediately changed the gold design with the shape of the United States for a new one alternating colors. Following that was Ivan Koloff, 1971 to 1973. After Ivan Koloff, who used a different belt than Sammartino and Roger, the title passed into the hands of Puerto Rican Pedro Morales in 1971. Giving his personal touch to the belt, after a few months, he changed the design of his belt again. Then came the time of Stan Stasiak, 1973 to 1982. The rude Stan Stasiak had a new belt that would stay in the window for almost a decade. Next is Bob Backlund, 1982 to 1984. In 1982, the championship had a new holder, Bob Backlund, who had made his own tweaks to his belt. The curious thing about his tweak is that it exposed the name of the previous champions. What about Hulk Hogan, 1984 to 1988? In the 1984 championship, Hulk Hogan was champion for the first time and introduced a color change to the championship belt. After 4 years, in 1986, he returned to renew it. After that came Andre the Giant, 1988 to 1998. Andre the Giant was the winner in 1988, and he will change his appearance, giving rise to one of the most remembered designs of the championship. He only held it for a few hours, however. The belt held for exactly 10 years. That of Andre the Giant was followed by Stone Cold Steve Austin, 1998 to 2002. Stone Cold Steve Austin managed to beat Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 14, and with it came new small variations on the title. The design extended throughout the Attitude. Next is that of Hollywood Hulk Hogan, 2002 to 2005. Being the last WWF champion and the first in WWE, in addition, he was the first undisputed champion to unify the WWE and Complete World Championships in what would be his last world conquest, and followed by John Cena, 2005 to 2013. John Cena changed his belt since his first reign, since it was how the famous spinner was born, and Edge did the same in 2006 in the Rated R style. What about The Rock, 2013 to 2014? The Rock held it for a while, but it was not to his liking, and as a result in 2013, he changed the design of the belt. Let's wrap it up with that of Brock Lesnar, 2014 to present. The current design was given to Brock Lesnar in 2014 after the WWE logo change. In 2019, Daniel Bryan redesigned it with a more ecological version. Next up, after mass layoffs, what to expect from NXT Europe? Triple H is no joke. Since Vince McMahon's forced retirement, WWE's new creative leader has changed the course of the company. The former fighter has a very different view on sports entertainment. Right off the bat, he already implemented his conception, especially in Europe. There, NXT UK was dissolved and a wider version of the development territory was created. However, NXT Europe and the changes brought about by its creation had negative consequences for the fighters of this division. WWE executives decided to remove much of the NXT UK roster of athletes, which meant more than 20 layoffs at the company. Despite billion-dollar profits, the pro wrestling company keeps its vault sealed. The news was not completely catastrophic for the fighters of the British division. Even with the mass mass layoffs, the most prominent talents escaped the side and were integrated into the US roster. In fact, NXT dedicated an entire pay-per-view, Worlds Collide, to unify the two wrestling universes. But what can we expect from NXT Europe? With no roster and a lot of money, the WWE can dominate the Northern Hemisphere with extreme ease. What about the negative effects of NXT? Yes, NXT UK was created to expand WWE's business in Europe. However, the introduction of this division also served another mission in the UK. The wrestling giant, like a good monopoly, took over the pro wrestling scene in the region and extinguished small companies from the market. WWE is the biggest reference in wrestling. With a billionaire revenue, the company had no difficulty in hiring the best fighters available in the British market. Despite bringing more production to England, the company destroyed the soul of pro wrestling in the region. Now, with Triple H in power, the former wrestler wants to expand his vision of NXT across Europe. Even with a good eye for the product, the new WWE executive could once again kill the pro wrestling scene with the creation of this new division of athletes. But this time, the proportion is much higher. For the past year, WWE has recognized NXT as the grassroots division of the company. In the United States, the company's new athletes undergo extensive training and focus on improving their skills both in the ring and with the microphone. And in this same vein, the European version promises the best result. WWE doesn't need to hire the best wrestlers to deliver the most fun product. In addition to avoiding complaints and possible fan boycotts, the company can develop the stars themselves. And, at the ideal moment, the stars can go to the United States to act in the main cast of the company. Instead of hiring an entire division of new athletes, the pro wrestling giant can look to its own roster to assemble NXT Europe. Inexperienced fighters like Aaliyah and Mace, and European big names like Gunther, formerly Walter, and Butch, formerly Pete Dunne, are perfect for this new phase of the company. Next, who can end Roman Reigns' 2-year reign? For the past 2 years, Roman Reigns has been headlining the WWE. Since the pandemic, the fighter has guided the company from darkness to light. The world title holder has the charisma, audience engagement, and look of a champion. However, like every reign, its time as a wrestling benchmark needs to end at some point. Even with the incredible reign, Roman Reigns is still a long way from the company record. Bruno Sammartino, 1934 to 2018, held the belt for almost 8 years in a row. With more than 750 days as champion, the self-styled tribal chief is unlikely to surpass the legend of the sport. The title holder's last years have been legendary, and arguably, the fighter could already go to the company's Hall of Fame. But the time has come for the WWE to put the unified belts on a new athlete. And luckily for you, the wrestling giant has superstars more than qualified to take the spotlight on Roman Reigns. What next? WWE Raw DX 25th anniversary episode set for Barclays Center in New York. D-Generation X will reunite on the October 10 episode of WWE Monday Night Raw at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. The arena announced the news in a tweet on Friday. While the video primarily features Triple H and Shawn Michaels, it also features Shawn, X-Pac Waltman, and Road Dogg Brian James. In a clip featured in the video, Triple H asked if there were more of them, and they were careful not to show AEW's Billy Gunn. The show is also being promoted as the show's season premiere. Aside from the DX celebration, no other segments or matches have been officially announced. Triple H and Shawn Michaels are being creative for the company, as Triple H is the company's chief content officer. Michaels was recently named Senior Vice President of Creative Talent Development and oversees the creation of the NXT brand. In August, Road Dogg returned to the company as Senior Vice President of Live Events. So, that concludes today's video. If you found the video helpful, give us a thumbs up and don't forget to share the video with your friends and family. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.